I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy, did I write Saturday in the title? No, I wrote Sunday. I labeled it right. Happy Sunday morning to you all. Hope you're all having a nice Saturday. I'm having a good one. I am 2-1, up about 0.95 units with the Rangers money line remaining, and they have a lead late. So hopefully we get the Rangers. Nice little Saturday. Hope you all enjoyed yours. You're enjoying your holiday weekend. We got 15 games on Sunday. How was your guys' Saturday?
I can't complain. I'm sitting at 4-2 right now with assuming that Texas wins, that's 4-2. And then I'm waiting on the Oakland team total over 3.5. Probably dead, but might get a little bit lucky.
Spoon, did you have yourself a nice Saturday?
If the Rangers pull this out, I'll be just a little bit ahead. If they lose, I'm going to be down.
Which ones did you lose?
I had Washington team total. They didn't get. And what else did I lose? Oh, the Rays blew a huge lead early on.
Those damn Rays. All right, let's get into it. We'll start with Baltimore, Atlanta. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I don't hate it, though. My bet would be here if I was to bet this one. Baltimore team total over 3.5 at -130.
Copy and paste.
Really? Did you actually bet it?
Yeah, I already bet it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, because I didn't bet it. I was thinking about it.
I'm trying to continue to figure out ways to play on this Baltimore team. I bet them again today at +130. Obviously, it came through. I think that I think Grant Holmes is getting a little bit too much respect here. I know that the Orioles numbers, like if you look at our spreadsheet over the last 14 days, it isn't anything pretty as far as right-handed pitching is concerned. 19th in all the major categories that we look at. And Grant Holmes has been good over his last 3 starts. There's no question about that. Angels, Miami, and the Mets, and the start at Colorado has all been very, very, very good. But I would also argue that this Orioles offense is hitting at a much higher level than those teams. You can maybe make an argument with the Angels, but the Mets offense has started kicking in right after that series, I think it was. But regardless, this Orioles team has faced a gauntlet of righty starters, and I continue to talk about this. But, I mean, over the last couple of weeks, Eovaldi, DeGrom twice, Taj Bradley, Zach Littell, Ryan Pepio, Will Warren, Clark Schmidt, and I know you can poke holes in some of those guys' names.
Hold on. 1 sec. They're saying your mic's bad. Does he say he sounds good to me? Does he sound good to you, Spoon?
I hear it on my side just fine, but I remember listening back to part of a show the other day, and the mic was a little different between what I thought I heard in here versus there. So I don't know. Maybe it is a difference.
You know what? Let me just 1 sec. I'll take Toast off and bring him back on because he sounds fine to me and Spoon. Let's.
Yep.
If it was just 1 or 2 people, I would just ignore it because people are freaks. But it seems like everyone. Do a test now.
Check. What's going on, everybody?
Oh, everybody's audio. Refresh the video. Never mind. It's a YouTube.
I'm listening to it back on my phone right now. It doesn't seem
No,
that crazy.
it's a YouTube buffer. It's not us. Guys, when that happens, that's not specific to my channel. YouTube does a buffer sometimes. You just have to exit out and come back in. That happens on every channel. But anyway, go ahead.
They've seen a lot of very good upper echelon righty starters. Like I said, you can poke holes in some of those names for sure, but regardless, they've faced some very good righty starters. And Grant Holmes is another one of those guys that struggles with lefties in the lineup. And as we know, and we've talked about over and over again, this lineup has multiple lefties that can beat you, whether it be Holiday or Henderson, O'Hearn, Cowser, Mullins. Mullins is on my shit list right now, but again, they ended up winning, so it doesn't matter. But regardless, I think I continue to play a spot to figure out a way to play on Baltimore. It's not that I don't trust Trevor Rogers and why I didn't play them on the money line. It's their bullpen that's the situation. You're not going to have Batista. You're not going to have Baker. You're not going to have Kittredge, most likely. That's the issue for me there. So I do think that Baltimore continued to score runs. It should be decent weather tomorrow in Atlanta as well. I just thought that 3.5 was too small.
Yeah, I agree. And the two things I looked at, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'll pull it up on the screen. The two things I was looking at here, you mentioned Grant Holmes' strength of schedule doesn't exactly blow me away. You touched on this. The Angels, what do they have? Bunch of righties. They've been hitting, but a bunch of righties. The Mets, I mean, the end of June, they were ice cold, and they actually had 9 base runners. They were hitting Grant Holmes. The Marlins, the Rockies, I mean, the Brewers hit them. Then you get back down here, you see a couple more impressive lineups. The Brewers, they were able to score on them. Arizona, a bunch of lefties, they were able to score on them. Baltimore definitely has lefties. So I think it might just be an overall sell high spot for Grant Holmes. Weather's fine. I kind of think those arms are going to be available for the Orioles bullpen. We'll see. They had low pitch counts, but I couldn't pull the trigger on it. Orioles team total over a pass. Spoon?
I have a bet in this game, and it's what you guys both have up underneath you. It's the over 3.5. I got it at ESPN Bet minus 130. I looked at this game, and I wanted to back the Orioles. I feel like Trevor Rogers has been pitching really well, but it's such a small sample size. I don't know if I want to continue to do that. And as Toast mentioned, they have had to get into the bullpen pretty good. I believe they'll have a couple arms available, like Dominguez and Soto, to come in and close this game out. I think Cano can pitch as well. It's not a spot that I'm super trying to back Baltimore pitching, though. I feel like Trevor Rogers is due for a bad start, and that could easily come today. So just isolating it to those bats, as you mentioned. Who is Grant Holmes seen? Nobody on this level. He struggles more with lefties than he does righties. So the 8 righties in the LA lineup didn't do anything. I think this is a spot where Baltimore can probably get this team total for us in the first 5. And Atlanta's bullpen is nothing special. I think if it comes down to Grant Holmes having another game that Baltimore can get it off the bullpen. I see the last 14 days, their ERA is 3rd in baseball, but this isn't the Atlanta bullpen that I think of, and they've also had to use quite a few arms. So that closer by committee, I could see them giving up a run or two.
And in addition, I can't believe we all just picked the same thing, by the way. That's crazy. A team
We
total
didn't even talk to each other about it.
This is the first time this has happened since I've been on the show.
No, we didn't, because Spoon talked about this game in the voice chat before I got there. Toast wasn't in the voice chat, so this is like literally random that we all happen to be on the same team total. One more thing I forgot to mention. Recent righty starters against the Orioles, look at these names. Grant Holmes is a sight for sore eyes. You got Eovaldi, DeGrom, Taj Bradley, who they smoked. Littell's been great this year. Pepio, they smoked. DeGrom again. I mean, good Lord. Baltimore's been through the gauntlet with righty
Will Warren has been pitching well. Clark Schmidt had been pitching well. I mean, I know that.
Well, no, but now we're getting into names that are on Grant Holmes' level. I'm saying Grant Holmes might be the easiest righty starter they've seen for a while. So, damn it. You guys are betting. I'm not going to be the only one that didn't bet it. Fear FOMO.
Let's do it.
FOMO.
Yeah.
Can you guys still get that minus 130?
Yeah, I'd have to double check. I would assume so. I just bet it, yeah.
Peer pressure here. FOMO. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Let me just get this bet down real quick so I don't forget.
Toast, were you on the D-backs today too?
Yeah, minus 130?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, D-backs.
Yeah, they played an early game. That was weird. Yeah. But yes, I was.
I was so excited calling the Corbin Carroll coming back to the lineup, and then I see the lineup and they take Marte out, and I was like, come on.
My 2 losses were the Angels team total over 3.5. They had 3, and they had bats in the 10th and the 11th, which hurt. And then Cincinnati, which was, I mean, that doesn't even really bother me. It was plus 154. They were in that game, gave up a home run. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I thought when the Yankees got the 5th run, I was like, Toast cashed it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bet that until it stops. That's just free money at this point. Everybody's trying to figure out when they're gonna win. I don't understand.
All right, next game. I bet that. Reds, Phillies. I bet this one. That's right.
I already know what you're gonna play.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
What do
I know
have?
you so well.
What do I have then?
Let me see. There's 8.5 popping up. Guaranteed you bet an under 9.
Jesus, that's actually right. I
knew it.
That is the bet I am holding. I'm on the under 9. So, all right. The way I'm looking at it is, I think the market might be overreacting a little bit. Sold all of their Chase Burns stock, and overvaluing the Phillies bats a little bit. The Phillies team total is 5.5. Now, to take the under on that, it's like a -130. So it's not a flat 5.5. But for the implied score of this game, for the Phillies to be scoring over 5 runs is kind of crazy. If you look at the Phillies' recent games, they are not scoring 6 or more runs often. They've done it like 2 or 3 times in their last 15 games. They are not putting up these huge crooked numbers on the scoreboard. Granted, I know Bryce Harper was hurt for a while. I get it. I'm just saying, literally 2 weeks ago, Chase Burns was one of the most highly touted prospects coming into baseball. This kid was going to be the next Skeens. He pitches great against the Yankees, throws a great game, 8 strikeouts against the Yankees. Then he had 1 bad game in Fenway where he was tipping his pitches, allegedly. And now all of a sudden we're pricing this guy like he's Sensatella? That seems a little crazy. This guy, Spoon was talking about it 2 or 3 times on the show, how good this guy's stuff is and how highly touted of a prospect he is. So I'm not expecting Chase Burns to shut the Phillies down, but I'm getting a 9 here. If he holds the Phillies to 5 or 6 runs, I think I'm good. Because, Zach Wheeler is pitching. So I think the final score of this game is 5-1, 6-1, and 9 is too high. I mean, how many 9s do you see in Zach Wheeler starts, honestly? You don't see many 9s when Zach Wheeler's pitching. So, yeah, I understand you can go the Reds team total under. I also understand you can go the Phillies team total under. I actually flirted with the idea of both. Settled on just taking the U9. I am on this. Spoon, are you with me?
So this is a huge variable. You mentioned the tipping the pitches. He's only got 5 1/3 major leagues innings under his belt, and the other team's hitting staff has already found that tip. So that's something that's got to be very obvious. I know that they'll make some adjustments to try to change how he shows the ball to the other team, but sometimes when you're trying to make adjustments on the fly, it doesn't help. It goes backwards, and I think it's a really big variable. I like Chase Burns. I do want to find ways to back him, but I think I need to see it a few times. This Phillies lineup can definitely make a young kid pay. This is a day where Ballpark Pal has this modeled at plus 40% home runs, plus 13% runs overall. Beautiful day at the ballpark in the high 80s, wind blowing out 8 miles an hour. I'd be a little scared to trust Chase Burns to not have a blow up here. I think he goes more than 1/3 of an inning like in Boston, but I don't necessarily trust the fact that he's already fixed that tip just in one chance out there. We saw earlier with Luzardo, they reported he was tipping pitches on the Phillies side, and it took him a few games to kind of get things right. I think that could be a similar thing that happens here, and he gets hit up again. I don't have a bet in this game. I could use Phillies as a parlay piece, but I can't get there with the -1. I'm not going to lay a run line with them. This is a game I'm just going to ultimately have to stay off. I do want to watch it and see how Chase Burns looks out there. He's a mature rookie. This is a guy that pitched in college, so I think he might be able to make the adjustments on the fly, but it's not something I want to have my money on.
Toast?
It's overall going to be a pass. It'd be Reds team total over 3.5 or pass for me. It's obviously it's not a fate of Zach Wheeler, not like immediate fate of Zach Wheeler. Obviously, it's just I mean he is getting older. He's thrown 207 pitches his last couple outings. The last time he had that, he gave up a couple to Toronto in a same type of situation at home. And this Reds offense has been pretty damn good over the last 2 weeks. I know that their numbers versus righty starters isn't insane, but I mean, today wasn't anything special, but prior to today, 9-8, 3-6, 3-4, 8-5, 1-5, 6. I mean, they're scoring a whole bunch of runs or multiple runs every game. And with great weather and the wind blowing out, I do feel like sooner or later Wheeler's going to give up a few. He hasn't given up more than 1 run in his last 3 or 4 starts. So I don't love it that much, but that's the only way I would play it. I don't trust the Phillies like that. I think this price is ridiculous.
So I'm the only one that bet this game. I actually do have this in my pocket, under 9. I think I paid -120 for it, though. I believe I paid a few extra cents to get that 9. Next up, Boston, Washington. This one wasn't open for a while. Looks like it is open across the board now around this number. Boston's in the 270 range. When I was making the graphics for the show, this line was just opening. So Spoon, I heard you in the voice chat talk about this pitcher. So why don't you share with everyone? Spoon has a scouting report on this kid for Washington.
Ogasawara is the kid's name. He came from Korea. This is a guy that's got 5 pitches. He pitches really slow. His fastball tops out around 90 miles an hour. All of his breaking stuff comes in the 70s. That's his changeup, a slider. His splitter, I believe, is 82 miles an hour. My big issue with this kid is he had an oblique injury at the beginning of the season. I guess he's not a kid. He's 27. But had an oblique injury at the beginning of the season, and he hasn't pitched with a major league style baseball since April. And took him over a month and a half to recover from that oblique, and then he's been pitching in the low A's. He's pitched pretty decent there, but like I said, it's a different baseball, and when you have 5 pitches, you need to really have those dialed in to be able to put them where you want, especially a guy that's throwing so slow. Sometimes that can help you out if you had like a flamethrower going the day before, but we had a guy throwing 93 on the mound for him today, so it's not going to be a huge change as far as velocity goes. I don't trust him here. I'd like to see him get a few starts under his belt. I think this is just a start out of necessity for Washington, and I think the Red Sox bats get to him. I think that's done intentionally, but I can't back the kid here. In the future, I'll look to do it. I think a lot of these pitchers that come from the KBO, especially with splitters, can find success in this major leagues because their pitch it looks so much different than what they've seen coming up in college and the minor leagues. It's a different pitch mix that's developed on different hitters. He's used to getting slap hitters out, so he can't give up a ton of contact.
Rangers, Martin just struck out Cronenworth to get out of the 8th, by the way. Spoon does not like the spot for this pitcher. Thinks it should be a favorable spot for Boston to score some runs. I can't say I disagree. Don't know much about him. Toast, anything here?
It would be over or pass for me. The only thing I can add about that kid, Eswarga, is that he, even in the games that he was pitching in April and June for the minor league teams, he wasn't going deep into games. I think he went 5 and 6 innings, 2 starts, and then a 3, a 4, a 2. I mean, so even if, I just don't really know what you can expect from this kid. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of shots at that Washington bullpen. And this Boston offense is starting to find life, believe it or not. So it would only be over 8.5 or pass, but emphasis on the pass.
Yeah, let's move on. Next up, Angels, Blue Jays. Look, I know Gosman has struggled at home. I know everyone loves betting this Angels lineup on the road. I know that plus 154 looks appetizing. But I honestly think this is Blue Jays all the way here. I think they win comfortably. I can't get there with a minus 185. I couldn't figure out any particular way to bet it. But I think the Angels are going to be a very popular underdog pick. Not that should influence your decision-making, just kind of thinking out loud. Toast, anything here?
Angels team total over 3.5, minus 130. Want nothing to do with the pitching staff. 100% agree with you that Toronto probably ends up winning this game. Toronto's probably the hottest team in baseball right now. My boy Addison Barger is just on another level. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's throwing people out at the plate. He's hitting home runs. He's hitting clutch base hits. He's doing everything. But you mentioned it. Gosman really hasn't been great at home. Last 3 starts, gave up 2 to the Yankees in 5, gave up 7 to the Diamondbacks in 4 1/3, gave up 3 in 4 2/3 to Oakland or Sacramento, whatever, on 8 hits. So, and that's just his last 3. And we've talked about Gosman at home over the last couple of years on this channel about how he's not a guy that we really trust at home. So he does have really good numbers against this Angels offense in general in the past, but it's just a completely different Angels team. Like I said, I want nothing to do with Tyler Anderson coming off of 2 really good starts. It wouldn't surprise me if he got shelled, but you're getting this Angels team with a full 9 at bats that, had multiple chances today. If Soler gets 1 hit, they cash that team. They score 5 runs. So I just think you continue to try to play the Angels bats in some way on the road, especially when you're getting those full 9 at bats, and forget the pitching staff unless you really love the matchup.
Spoon, I don't know if you guys talked about this in the voice chat. I joined when you were on this game, but this is something to talk about here. The Angels bullpen. Jansen's gone 2 in a row. Now 13 and 14. I don't know. Maybe they use him because these are low pitch counts. You're not going to see Detmers. You're not going to see Furman. So you're looking at Burke and Strickland as the 2 main arms. Zephyrhan even through 23. So with I forgot to add before, the Angels bullpen is compromised on top of everything else. It would only be Blue Jays in some fashion. What do you think, Spoon?
So the Blue Jays bullpen is also pretty compromised, very heavily worked over this past 6-7 days.
I have it right here.
I don't know necessarily who they will be able to run out there either. What Toast already bet is my strong lean in this game. I hadn't got there yet. I don't think there's still a minus 130 available on that. If I wanted to get it right now, I think I'd have to like build a 4. I really like these Angels bats. I think Gosman at home. This is a spot where he's pitched 3 times now with the roof open, and he hasn't looked good in any of those starts. I guess the Yankees only got 2 off him in 5 innings. That's great, but Arizona got 7 off him in less than 5 innings, and the Athletics bats got 3 off him in less than 5 innings. And in that game, they had 10 base runners in 4 2/3. I think this is something, especially with that Blue Jays pen being taxed, that these Angel bats can continue to hit. Gosman has worse splits versus the right-hand side of the lineup. He's given up a 310 weighted on base and a 1.26 whip. I really think the righties in this Angels lineup can get to him, maybe 3 runs off him, and then we just need 1 off the bullpen. We get all 9 innings with it. I think I'm probably going to get there to the window.
I didn't realize the roof was open. In that case, I'll put an over up, but I would not be isolating the Angel side. It would be the full game over because I think Toronto can crush Tyler Anderson.
On that note, it's not officially open. That's my guess, but there's no chance of rain, temperatures in the high 80s, and wind blowing out.
All right, let's move on to the next game, which is
the issue with Anderson is that like he struggles with the lefties. That's why I was looking at, but
Scooble on the road in Cleveland. I don't know. I mean, obviously, how can you expect the Guardians to score runs on Scooble? But at the same time, how many runs are you expecting on the Detroit side? Gavin Williams has strong numbers against lefties. We saw Detroit struggling to score tonight. I
want you so bad.
Obviously, the Detroit probably wins the game, but how are you going to bet it? Spoon, anything here?
This is one of those AL Central under games, is it not? It's really just how many runs do the Tigers get off Gavin Williams. As you pointed out, he's much better versus the left-hand side. The Tigers don't have a lot of big righty bats. It's Spencer Torkelson and just a few other lower-level, almost AAA bats. I expect Matt Vierling to probably be in the lineup tomorrow. I don't know. It's priced too heavily for me to back Detroit here. You can't do it on a -1. If you really wanted to, I heard Jacob in the chat talking about putting the Tigers and the Phillies together in a parlay and getting plus money with the 2 of those teams. I don't hate doing that at all. I just can't pay this much money to back a team that I don't know is going to score 3 runs in the game. So it'd be under or use them as a parlay piece.
Yeah, I mean, I want to bet Cleveland too, Toast.
Dude, I want to do it so freaking bad.
Yeah, he's so good, though.
Last win, June 25th?
So bad. June 25th means nothing to me. The plus 180 means everything to me. How many times between that time has they've been plus 180 is the better question for me. Look, Scooble's good, and he's going to go 7 innings or whatnot. There is the small issue for me is that this Detroit bullpen is a little compromised. Probably not going to see Tommy 2 of the last 3 and 3 of the last 4. Will Vest had the night off, but he had worked the 2 previous nights before that, so they had seen him. And then Herter went today as well. But Tyler Holton's coming off of 2 of the last 3 days. I mean, he had a day off today, but very high pitch counts.
Yeah, he threw 42 pitches, though.
Yeah, very high pitch counts. So, again, I just don't think the back end of this Detroit bullpen is in a very good spot. And you have Cleveland that's going to have a pretty much a rested bullpen behind Mr. Williams there. It's just a really, really big price for Cleveland at home. I know that they can't win any games to save their life right now, and Detroit probably wins. But I honestly... I feel like they can get a couple off of Scooble. I know that sounds crazy. I know that he just went in there and had a complete game shutout of 13 strikeouts against them. But keep in mind that he did have some issues in the playoffs there. Cleveland has seen him multiple times over the last couple of years. Cleveland or pass, just move on.
If I was going that direction, I would probably take the +1.5. With
it's
the
at plus 105.
Yeah, that's the way I'd probably go. But I'm just going to throw the under up and side with Spoon here. I think the final score of this game is 2-1. So, yeah, maybe Cleveland +1.5, but let's move on. Yankees Mets. I mean, I kind of want to just take the Mets out of principle.
Yeah, I mean, the delay minus 225 with this Yankees team is, like I said before the show, with God on the mound is a joke. I mean, this team is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's Fried. It's Waddle. I thought it was someone else. Did they switch?
Davinsky is the listed starter that I have, which is just a bullpen arm. He's going to come in for 1 inning kind of guy. I don't see anybody in there for long relief ready for the Mets unless they call that kid up from Syracuse that's absolutely dealing. It looks like he would actually be on regular rest. I had the name in my notes. I don't have it right now. I was kind of waiting to see what the Mets do there, but I don't know. Maybe just do what Toast has been doing the last few days. Just take the Yankees over 4.5. That looks like you could do that. I don't have a bet in this game yet. I like to have more information on the 2 pitchers that I'm going to see, and it's just a really huge variable.
Yeah, Waddle's going to get the bulk. They've made that very clear over the last day or so that he's gonna start and he'll get the bulk for Sunday. Whatever that means to anybody, I don't know. But they've made that clear today that he will start tomorrow and he'll get the bulk of the innings. So I don't know what bulk of the innings means, to your point, but yeah, he will be in there.
Just Mets or pass for me, just because the Yankees have been so bad, and I'm getting the +185 to beat them, honestly. So not to mention, Fried's looked a little vulnerable recently. Not that the Mets have done shit against lefty bats, but Fried hasn't been quite as dominant the last month or so in comparison to what he was doing earlier in the year. Yeah, Mets are bad. I don't really even have much to say, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can play the Yankees bet. I've been playing 4.5. They bumped it up to 5.5 now. It is at plus money, but 6 runs is a huge difference. It'd be Yankees or pass in some way, shape, or form. Team total, I guess. Wouldn't trust their pitching staff, but yeah.
Brewers Marlins. Now, what is Eber Cabrera going to do after that gem of a start against, I believe that was the Twins? They couldn't touch him, and I was on the other side of that game, so I watched it. I believe the final score of that was 1-0. They could not touch Cabrera. It might have been 2-1. Does he come back to earth here? Milwaukee has been the best road lineup in baseball recently. In fact, I believe they're the best road lineup in baseball in the season. So we know the Brewers are always down to score runs on the road. But I think the lead story here is Brandon Woodruff. I haven't talked about Brandon Woodruff on YouTube in many moons. It's been a long time since we had Brandon Woodruff's name up on the channel. Welcome back. When's the last time he pitched? 22, Toast?
2023, yeah. October 2023.
Oh, it was 20. He only missed 1 year? Why does it feel like it's been longer than that?
Well, he had that injury. I mean, he did pitch in 2023 he barely pitched. So, I mean, I guess.
You think Woodruff can pitch well here, Toast?
I don't know. They're taking a little bit of Brewers money or respected money because the Brewers this game was essentially a pick earlier, and you're looking at the Brewers around -125 now. I don't know how you trust Brandon Woodruff. I mean, it's not a knock on him. He has made some starts in AAA. Hasn't been too bad. I mean, they said, I think it was 80 or 85 pitches, something like that he should be able to get up to tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, Cabrera's been really, really good. Even besides that twin start, I mean, over his last 7 starts, his worst start was on the road in Tampa Bay in that AAA ballpark. So every time that he's pitched in a major league ballpark, he's been just fine. So it's really hard for me to believe that Cabrera doesn't pitch well tomorrow. Honestly, I don't understand the price. That's what's throwing me off. Why? I mean, I guess the Brewers are a better team, but it's not like Miami's been playing bad. Miami's been a hotter baseball team over the last 20 games. I mean, Miami's 14-6 their last 20, 8-2 their last 10. Milwaukee's 13-7 their last 20, 6-4 their last 10. So I'm getting a hotter baseball team with a starting pitching advantage and it's at home, it would only be Miami or pass for me. I don't understand why we're getting them at plus money, but I guess maybe Woodruff moves the needle a little bit. I don't know.
Someone's saying, who is Woodruff? Newer baseball fan. He's two-time All-Star, one of the best. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball a couple different years. He's been injured the last 2 years. That's why you don't know who he is if you're newer into baseball.
If you were in the Discord, I would have wrote casual behind your name.
So Toast, did you say Marlins are pass?
Yeah, Marlins are pass. I still don't understand why we're getting them at plus 100. So,
what do you think, Spoon?
We heard the same thing in the Discord, talking about Brandon Woodruff, this guy, like he's a minor coming up for the first time.
It was
There's
Charles.
a lot of disrespect going around.
Probably Steez.
No, it was Charles.
It was Charles.
He goes,
Oh my God,
he
Charles.
goes, this is exactly what he said. He's like, I don't trust this guy, Woodruff. Spoon, what do you think about this game?
I have a lot of respect for Brandon Woodruff. I know his starts in the minors don't look amazing. One thing you got to think about there is he's not a minor leaguer trying to show off and get a bunch of strikeouts and get called up. He's a guy that knows he's coming up, and he's just working his mechanics out, trying to get certain pitches to go in certain directions. So if he gets hit up, it could be because he's thrown 15 pitches in that same exact spot, and the batters are sitting there waiting for it, and he just wants to see where he can get it on the inside and outside. And when you're pitching there in the minors, you also get the benefit of being able to challenge pitches and know exactly where the edge of the strike zone is. So I think this is a spot where Brandon Woodruff can come up and pitch well.
Me too.
The other side of this, we got Cabrera, who is just pitching lights out this season. This is what a lot of people have wanted to see from him since he came up as a rookie. He's always had the stuff. It's just whether he can control it or not. I think the Milwaukee bats have enough lefties to be able to get to him. I think Brandon Woodruff is going to give us somewhere in the neighborhood of 85 pitches. I think I saw 84 in his last minor league start, I want to say. I don't have the number in front of me, but I do remember that his fastball was back up to 94 miles an hour in that start, and that's important for me. I think his velocity's back. I think the shoulder's feeling all right. I think this is a guy I want to back. I see the early movement. Sometimes that's a little bit fugazi because there's not a ton of money that are being taken on the books right now. You're just starting to open up limits on some of these places, so I really side with this Brewers side. I think I might even get there with the money line. I haven't placed the bet yet, but I really like the Brewers here. The Miami bullpen is not anything I trust. We talk about them winning 8 of their last 10 games. I don't expect that to continue over the course of the season. I think this is a spot the Brewers can get a win.
I completely agree and copy and paste a lot of what you said. Not to mention something you didn't mention, which isn't, this is kind of grasping at straws. Marlins bullpen, already a bullpen we don't trust. They used Enriquez and Foucher. I think both will be available, but Brewers will get another. Oh, damn, I thought that was strike 30. Brewers would get, if the Marlins are potentially winning this game late, Brewers would get another shot at those two arms. So I could see a blown save.
Oh!
What happened? Did the Rangers just lose?
No. We're okay.
Oh.
I thought he killed I thought Luis Ariz just died.
Oh, did he get?
We're okay.
Oh, wow. Well, we're not okay. No! Bases loaded. Jesus. So yeah, I think Woodruff could pitch pretty well. Let's not forget this is the Miami Marlins, and I know the Marlins are hot, and we've cast a few, but I actually I had Marlins tonight. Let's keep in mind, this lineup does not hit on the road. And, I mean, it does not hit at home. And since they've been back, I mean, they won this game 4-2. They beat the Twins 2-1. They're not scoring runs. This is one of the worst home lineups in baseball. So, yeah, I think Woodruff's going to pitch well, and I think this is affordable. You're talking about one of the worst home lineups in baseball against the best road lineup in baseball. So I agree with Milwaukee.
Yeah, cheap price should be free.
Well, everyone's betting the Marlins.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Rays Twins. Oh, Rays. Oh my Rays.
I wasn't on the Rays today, so I can make fun of people.
No, I was.
Yeah, Spoon was. Me and you picked the Twins on the show.
I'm going right back to the well with the Twinsies.
I gotta say though, the price the market is finally starting to put the Rays back where they belong, which is about an 85-win team, which is what I was saying the whole time during that. Was not that the Rays are bad. It's just, guys, the Rays are not a 100-win team, and they're being priced as one. Did we just lose, Spoon?
It's not done yet.
It's only one run.
Oh, it's 7. We're good, Charles. Charles.
We're good.
It's just one run. That's what I was saying the whole time. It's not that the Rays are bad. It's just that they're being priced as a 100-win team, and they're not a 100-win team. That's what the point I was making. Now they are 1-5 in their last 6 games, so things don't look great. I will say the price is back to where I would have it. I would probably have this one at Twins minus 120. So I don't think there's value on either side. I would say under or pass. Personally,
look at the bullpens. Then tell me if there's value.
Nah, I mean no Duran. What is the Rays bullpen is in bad shape?
Yes. Uketa, Clevenger, Kelly.
I don't know. I think they'll be available. 9.
Clevenger not being able to pitch is a great thing for the Tampa Bay bullpen. I think Fairbanks is rested. That's the arm we want to see.
But you're only going to see him if you're only going to see him in the 9th. So he's that's null and void for me. You want him.
It doesn't matter. It's Rasmussen, dude. He might go 7.
That was just my next point. So Rasmussen's really good against righties. When you face this Twins lineup, you have to be worried about right-handed hitters. If you have a pitcher out there that can get righties out, this Twins lineup does not look that good. I think Rasmussen can pitch very well. Joe Ryan is also a great pitcher, and he can probably keep these Rays bats at bay a little bit, but I have a lot more faith in this Rays lineup. I know Toast kind of feels the same way about the Tigers. He does the Rays, that they're just very overrated. Their numbers don't necessarily reflect how they'll be at the end of the season, but I think there's a lot of really good hitters in this Rays lineup. They continue to hit. I don't know if I will get there to the window, maybe just the Rays actual team total over, but I will be on the Rays in some shape tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't take the Twins because I think the market is back to where it should be. I think these two teams are about even. Maybe the Rays slightly better based on what we've seen so far. But keep in mind, these two games are only like 6 games. These two teams are only like 6 games apart in the standing. So I know recency bias is tough. It's tough to unsee. But these two teams, it's not like the Rays have been overwhelmingly better than the Twins this year. They've just been better in the last few weeks. Well, actually, that's not even true. The Twins have been better than the Rays in the last couple weeks. The Rays' hot streak is over. I think the price is right. I'd just say under or pass. I think both starters deal. Toast.
Yeah, I will be on the Twins here. I'm not worried about Duran throwing 30 pitches. He had multiple days off prior to that. I think that he should be fine and available. The only person that you're really not going to have in the Twins bullpen that's going to be working on back-to-back days is Columbi, who's worked 3 of the last 4 or something like that. But as far as the Rays are concerned in the bullpen, Uketa, Montgomery, Kelly, all back-to-back days, probably not going to be available. Uketa 3 of the last 4. My other thing is that I agree that the starting, I will give you that the starting, I think, is kind of like not a wash. I think Joe Ryan's better, but that Rasmussen's been pitching really good. But my issue with him is that he hasn't really been tested on the road over his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 starts. Only 3 of them on the road. Pitched well against Miami. You just went through a nice little soliloquy about how bad Miami is offensively.
He pitches in a little league park.
I'm just telling you, I'm going off of what he does on the road. So, I'm just telling you why I bet the Twins. So, regardless, he's not pitching well on the road, or hasn't pitched a whole bunch on the road. When he's faced good teams on the road, he's gotten shelled like Arizona and the Mets. He looked good against 2 teams that offensively can't do dick in Kansas City and Miami. I will be betting the Twins tomorrow, no question, at cheap price.
No question, he said. Get it out.
That's a game. That's a ball game. Let's go. Hey,
let's go. Great Saturday. Thank you for the
now.
Rangers, Spoon. Tailed you on that one.
No problem.
Speaking of Spoon, by the way, I tailed 2 picks from you, Diamondbacks and Rangers, and they both hit, Spoon. So my 3-in-1 night, you deserve an assist on it for the late night text with those 2 injury returns. All right, by the way, speaking of Spoon, we have to pass the rock to Spoon here. He says he's not going to bet it, but go ahead and listen to what he's about to say because I heard him in the voice chat and I almost placed the bet. So, Spoon, you like the Rocks?
I do like the Rockies. We got Chase Dollander on the mound. This is a guy very comfortable pitching in this park. You got Shane Smith on the other side. This guy has not looked good at all. Look at his last 3 starts: 6 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 5 earned runs. He does have a pitch mix that may play okay in the Rockies park here. Course, he throws a lot of fastballs, but these Rockies bats, I think, can really get to him. He's not comfortable. You put him in the worst park to pitch in baseball. I think the White Sox are overpriced here. I think the Dollander can work right through this AAA lineup. This is a guy that's pitched well versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that everybody absolutely loves, in the Miami Marlins. Pitched well against Atlanta. He pitched well against Washington. I don't see one bad game versus the Houston bats is going to take me off this. I think it only gives us value here. I don't understand why we can get this price right now. Shane Smith he's going to give up 3 runs minimum in this game, and I could see that number getting even larger. This total is a little bit too high as well, in my opinion, but I look at the White Sox relievers. I don't understand how they're going to close this game out. I don't trust it. Grant Taylor's gone 2 days in a row. There's too much for me here. Just I hate the Rockies. It's really hard to. This is one of those numbers, like, you got to call 1-800-GAMBLER if you're going to put more than a unit on this game, and I'm not sure I'm ready to do that myself at this moment, but I really, really want to.
If you're putting, I mean, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER if you put $5 on this game, let alone a full unit.
No. He's right, though, because the concern would be, Dollander doesn't pitch well at home, and his games and Coors have been shitty. Well, look at who he's pitched against in Coors. Houston, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Tigers. I mean, come on. He's pitched against all playoffs. This is the freaking White Sox. He's got fastballs. That's what you want to see. The Rockies have their entire bullpen rested and ready. The White Sox don't. Their bullpen's used up. This is the Rocks. This is a Rocky spot, man. Are you with me, Toast? I'm betting.
It's getaway day, too.
It's getaway day. Come on.
I mean,
are you placing the bet?
Has Shane Smith faced any decent competition? Who was his last start against? What about the previous start before that? There's not a chance in hell I bet this game. I would need like plus 120 or better to bet the Rockies. I think that they have a very, very good chance of winning. Yes, no question. And I 100% agree with Dollander and his level of competition, but there's not a chance in hell I bet the Rockies at plus 100.
I would probably have this one Rockies minus 118. I'm in. Rockies up. Share this with the group real quick.
Have they pitched like the same teams? Mets, Arizona.
This is the worst kind of peer pressure. I'm sitting here trying to convince myself not to bet the Rockies.
Don't listen to Kyle. Don't.
Fine. Miss out on an opportunity of a lifetime.
Kyle loves betting the Rockies.
I'm sitting there watching the Rockies up 8-1.
Pirates, Mariners, and in my opinion, this is such a coin flip game at this price. A 6.5 total. I mean, this is going to be a 3-2 final score, and whoever gets one into the gap is going to end up winning. I don't know how you could lay juice on. I don't know how you could take the Pirates as a road favorite right now, even with Skeens. I mean, the bats have looked really, really bad. They had that little hot streak. Since then, they are not scoring runs. They've scored, in the last 4 games, they've scored 6 total runs, and 5 of them came in one game. They've been shut out in back-to-back games here in Seattle. I don't see anything that's going to give me faith that the Pirates can score runs on Kirby, but in order to take Seattle, you need the Mariners to get to Skeens. So I have a feeling that these guys are about to take Seattle. Not necessarily disagreeing. I just wouldn't be surprised if Skeens throws an absolute gem here. So, Toast, you on the Mariners?
First 5 under 3.5. I don't even, why complicate it and worry about who's going to score the run when we both think that both of these pitchers are going to deal. Not to mention it's going to be a day game in Seattle with that sun blaring and the shadows going. I actually bet this. Yeah. First 5 under 3.5. Kirby's been excellent. He struggles versus lefties. There's no lefties in that lineup for the Pittsburgh that even remotely try to start to scare me. I don't understand where the runs are coming from. So if Kirby gets absolutely blown up by the Pirates, I guess so be it. But I have a hard time believing that the Pirates get to. I'm sorry, that the Mariners get to Skeens. So first 5 under 3.5.
And another thing to keep in mind is the Pirates never seem to hit when Skeens pitches. I mean, the last time he pitched, they scored 1 run. The time before that, they scored 2 runs. They've
only scored 4 runs or more in 4 of his starts, and 2 of those they've scored 4 twice, 6 once, and 8 once. Everything else is 0. 3 times they've scored nothing. 2 times they've scored 1. 3 times they've scored 2.
I'm actually looking at it for the first time here. This is he should demand a trade. Every single time Skeen pitches, they just don't score. 0, 2. And then here's an 8, but in extras, though. They scored 4 of those in extras. 2 in extras. 1, 0. I mean, this team just does not score for Skeens. What do you think, Spoon?
I want to back Seattle here. We talk about Skeens being lights out and dominant. Both sides of the plate, he does look pretty good, but he does struggle more with lefties than he does righties. And when you look at the Seattle lineup, all the big bats are lefties. I think they can probably put out 5 lefties in that lineup tomorrow if I were going to put a guess on it. You see versus Detroit, he gave up 5 walks, only 3 hits, only gave up 2 runs overall, but that's definitely a bad start by any metrics for Skeens. Milwaukee has some lefties, got 4 earned runs and 6 base runners off him. I think he has a little bit of a lefty problem. Obviously, it's Skeens, so if this were another pitcher, that would probably be his strong side of the plate. But I think the Seattle bats can probably get at least 1 run off Skeens, maybe 2. This Pittsburgh bullpen is not a bullpen I put a ton of faith in. Bednar years ago was just lights out, one of my favorite pitchers to watch. You could see him on both ends of a doubleheader closing out games. Just an absolute beast. But I think that's behind him. And outside of that, there's no arms that I don't think Seattle can score on. Skeens is not going to come out and pitch 9 innings tomorrow. I say that maybe he'll come out and do a complete game shutout, but I think the Mariners find a way to get a couple runs. Munoz did pitch tonight, and so did Brash, but they both had multiple nights off before that, so they should both be available as well. I haven't pulled the trigger on Seattle yet. I would really like to. George Kirby, as Toast mentioned, just struggles from the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, he's got a .68 whip, and that's while dealing with injuries, coming back and rehabbing in the major leagues. He wasn't doing that in the minors. It was against real major league bats, and I think this guy's finally right. You look at his last start, he didn't give up a walk, only 3 hits and 1 earned run. I don't think the Pirates are going to get a single run off Kirby tomorrow at home. He gets to start consecutive home starts. This is one of my favorite spots for any pitcher in baseball, and you put Kirby in that position, it's going to be really hard for me not to find myself with a bet on Seattle tomorrow. I don't see any way the Pirates get 3 or 4 runs in this game, and I think Seattle can outscore the Pirates bats even with Skeens on the mound. Seattle money line.
I'm not betting this game, but I think I would lean the other way. I would go Pirates money line or pass. Now, as you mentioned, Brash and Munoz will be available. They pitched tonight, but nothing crazy, so they'll be available. So the bullpen's fine for Seattle. What I'm looking at is, I mean, Skeens just gives me a lot more faith than Kirby. I know you take the Mariners bats over the Pirates bats, but I have Skeens a pretty significant step above Kirby based on what we've seen so far this season for George Kirby. And if you look at Skeens' game logs, I mean, the Brewers game, kind of fresh in our heads. That's a division rivalry, man, and there's a lot going on. The team's familiar with him. If you take that one game out, he's been absolutely excellent in every single start. Even on the road in Detroit, it's like the best home lineup in baseball this year. Pitched pretty well. I mean, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Almost 8 shutout against the Phillies. 8 innings, 1 run against the Astros. Almost pitched 7 shutout against the Diamondbacks. I mean, this dude, what he's doing is far more impressive than what George Kirby is doing so far this year. And by the way, I'm not even 100% convinced that George Kirby's all the way back yet. I mean, his last 2 starts, he's looked pretty good. It was a home start against the Royals. I mean, and then before that was the Twins. They were in a little bit of a cold stretch as well. The Cubs didn't have problems hitting George Kirby. I mean, it's thin. I'm not betting this, but I actually lean towards Pittsburgh.
Also, if you want, I mean, look at our spreadsheet. Did you have the spreadsheet pulled up?
Yeah.
The Pirates bullpen. I mean, look at those numbers. I mean, we all like to talk shit about the Pirates bullpen, but they've been like amazing for this team for a while now. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That is crazy.
It's really hard to like fault that. That's why I wanted you to bring that up, because
in the best bullpen in baseball.
Well, yeah, like people think that this bullpen has been terrible, and they've actually been pretty damn good for a while now.
That is crazy. XFIP indicates they've gotten a little bit lucky, but ERA
still a
first.
top 10 team.
Yeah. Let's move on.
One thing with those bullpen numbers is a lot of teams are throwing out openers, and you get a ton of bullpen numbers out of those that don't get calculated. The Pittsburgh Pirates aren't throwing out openers.
That's not where I get those. My spreadsheet does innings 6 through 9. So it's not a pure bullpen. It's innings 6 through 9 only. So mine would have some starters in there, I believe is how I did it. So it's not an exact science. Houston Dodgers. The line's open now. Dodgers minus 190. Toast, anything for this one?
No. Astros are pass again. I just don't feel like the Astros are pass. Sorry. I don't still think that the Dodgers should be that big of favorites. I don't really trust either one of these pitchers. If this is like an easy pass for me. I mean, I think that the Dodgers have a good chance of winning finally, but at the same time, like I'm not paying minus 160 to see it. And this Astros team is, regardless to see whatever, doesn't matter what happens to them. Jordan goes down, Pena goes down. It doesn't really matter. They just keep on finding ways to win and score runs. So what they've done with Cam Smith has just been absolutely insane. He's been an absolute terror against the league. So it would only be Houston at the number, but I don't trust Gusto enough to actually play it.
Spoon, anything for this one?
So I initially capped this with Colton Gordon. They made a switch to Gusto. Also, Sheehan on the other side. I don't know how many innings they're going to get out of him. This is a Dodgers team that just threw a bullpen day to day, so it's going to be a really taxed bullpen by the time you get through this. I think I would also have a lean to the Houston Astros, but Gusto versus this LA Bats, that's kind of a scary mix to actually be on that side. I'd probably be a little bit safe about it and take the plus 1.5.
All right, let's move on. I got nothing. Another tough one. DeSclafani is on the mound. Spoon, I heard you talking about him in the voice chat. You said you only expect him to go 3 innings, right?
Yeah, no more than 4 innings, definitely. This was a guy that was worked up as a starter years ago for the Giants. Hasn't looked very sharp yet this year. It's hard to try to back him. What I would like to probably isolate here is just the Arizona bats. You get Marte and Carroll in tomorrow's lineup. Marte had the day off today. Them versus the Kansas City pitching staff. You got Lorenzen on the mound. I don't see any reason that the Diamondbacks, I think the team total is at 4.5 right now, can't get to that 4.5. This is a guy with a 4.57 xFIP versus lefties on the season, almost a whip at 1.5. I think the Diamondbacks lineup really is going to love having Carroll back in the center of it. You add Marte to it tomorrow. They had 7 runs today. I don't see why they can't get that off Lorenzen. I don't want to trust that bullpen, especially with DeSclafani not giving them a lot of outs at the beginning. There's a lot of variance there, so I would just isolate it to the Arizona team total. It's something I'm kind of close on, but haven't moved on.
I don't disagree, but I wouldn't isolate it to Arizona. I'm down with just the over 9.5. I'm assuming that total's telling me the roof's probably going to be open, right?
No way. It's going to be 105 in Arizona tomorrow. That's going to be closed. It's going to be temperature controlled in there.
Oh. Well, that took the wind out of my sails. I thought because it was 9.5, because we've been seeing nothing but 8.5s here. So I thought seeing a 9.5 was like, oh, maybe they're
They
opening
make
it
it
up.
official. I think you can actually look up the confirmed status on that.
Yeah, I would like to know that. Toast?
It'll be closed 100%. It's been closed all week. It's still closed.
I said 9.5 for this one.
I don't know. I'm not a bookmaker. It would only be Snake's team total over 4.5. I mean, I don't. I mean, I guess Lorenzen's been pretty bad. I don't know why you make it 9.5. I guess because Despafani's on the mound. But this, I mean, I don't think anybody needs me to tell them how bad this Kansas City offense has been. So again, Lorenzen struggles versus lefties. It would be Arizona to score some runs or not. But I don't really love it, to be honest with you.
I would actually go over, or I would actually go the Royals team total over rather than the Diamondbacks, to be honest. But whatever, let's just skip. I kind of like, you know what? I'll put Royals up. I kind of like Kansas City here. Got the starting pitching advantage, got the bullpen advantage. I think this should be a prime spot for Kansas City, although a bad lineup, to score some runs.
I agree. I agree with that. It's especially price wise, it would only be Kansas City.
What's the deal with Marte? Was it just a planned rest there? Spoon?
That's how I take it. It looks like he does rest on weekends more often than not. I don't see any injury that happened within the last few days. I was peeking at it today when the lineup came out to see if I might want to buy out of that line, but I don't see anything wrong with him. I think it was just a rest day. They got Marte up, or they got Carroll up, and they were like, Marte can finally take a break here. I think that sits well for him to play good tomorrow. Like I said, I'll probably wind up at the window with this ticket tomorrow. I'd like to kind of see how the market develops a bit.
I kind of like the Royals, man. I might bet that. I don't know.
Well, let me talk you off the Royals.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm liking the Royals. They just came through for me too with the plus 140 in Seattle the other night. The Royals are in my good graces.
Just those bats. You look at them on the full season, 27th weighted runs created plus, last 15 days, 30th weighted runs created plus. Not a lot of faith I can put in there. Desclafani did show us some really good stuff a few years ago with the Giants. Granted, that's more of a pitcher-friendly park, but it's a guy that definitely wants to be a starter again in the majors, and this is how you earn it. A weak lineup is maybe a lineup he could pitch decent against.
Next game is Cards Cubs, and I gotta say, Toast, you weren't in there. I disagree with the voice chat on this one. Everyone, Adam's Digest likes the under. Spoon likes the under. Everyone's talking about under shit. I think
Why?
Because the wind's blowing in
Cubs.
at Wrigley. Oh no, that's right. Spoon actually said he likes the Cubs. I don't know. I don't like the fact that the Cardinals just saw Matthew Boyd recently. There is in between 8 to 12 mile an hour winds blowing in at Wrigley, and we know how the wind is in this ballpark. So I'm not downplaying that. It just seems like the market is overplaying it. 7.5. I would lean over, or Cardinals. You can get a Cardinals team total over 2.5. It's Matthew Boyd, man. It's not freaking Wheeler. Like, what are we doing? A team total over 2.5 against a pitcher they just saw. That's the way I would go, but I don't know. Everyone seems to like the under. I seem to be the only one that thinks it would be this, by the way, or I don't even mind just going with a flat over 7.5. But I think the market's moving the other way, so I'm the only one that feels that way. Toast?
I really want to bet St. Louis. I know that Fetty has been terrible. I know that he's been rattled by the Cubs the last 2 times he's seen them. I know that he's been lit up. Obviously, like I just said, the Cubs, and then Pittsburgh just lit him up as well. Matthew Boyd's been fantastic. Yada yada yada. I've been winning with the Cubs, but it's just a lot of big innings. And then they had that 11-run outburst on Friday with a whole bunch of home runs. But, I mean, the offense really hasn't been, like, overwhelming at some point. They're winning games because they can pitch, and their bullpen's been really good as well. But the offense hasn't been overwhelming. So if you're getting in a game where, I mean, the consensus is that we think this game's going to go under or runs are going to be at a premium, I know that, Sauce, you might think differently, but as long as Fetty doesn't just get absolutely torched, if this game's going to be a coin flip,
He's going to get torched, bro. He sucks.
Okay, well then I guess you should just play the Cubs minus 1.5 then, if it's that easy. Because
I think the Cardinals can hit too. Here's what everyone's looking at: the Cardinals have struggled against lefties recently, but I mean, we're talking about 4 back here they were hitting. I don't know. Go ahead, Spoon. Talk about the Cubs.
Put me up on the board for Cubs -1, -145. This is a spot where I really feel like the Cubs bats can get to Eric Fetty. They obviously just saw him. They got 7 runs off him on 10 base runners in less than 4 innings. It's going to be a lot more pitcher-friendly environment. Some concern I do have is the Cubs had to use just about every arm today to get through it. They just called Jordan Wicks up from AAA. He's a good arm, but I think they're going to want to save him for a different day, somewhere where they're going to need more innings. Daniel Palencia is the best arm in this bullpen. He will be nice and fresh. He hasn't pitched in a few days. I expect him to get the ball in the 9th with a couple run lead for the Cubs. Haven't got to the window with it yet. The bullpen situation does leave me with some concern, but I just think Eric Fetty is going to get hit by this Cubs lineup. He's got a xFIP over 5 to both sides of the plate. The Cubs lineup, obviously one of the best in baseball versus right-handed pitching. They're 3rd on the season in weighted runs created plus. They've just seen this guy, so you get to. Sometimes I like to go back and forth with a pitcher if they have a bad start, then find a good start a second time. But I don't expect Fetty to bounce back against this Cubs lineup. You mentioned it earlier, divisional matchups. You just get to see him a few more times and you learn their pitch mix. Maybe that comes in with the Cardinals finding a couple runs off Matthew Boyd, but he's a guy I really like to shut down these Cardinals bats. If we look at him over the last 30 days versus left-handed hitting, they're 25th in baseball. It gets worse if you go to the last 15 days. I don't know what's keeping me completely off. It is the bullpen, but Cubs -1.
I think I'm going to bet the Cardinals, guys, just so you guys know.
I don't like that one.
It's just for me, and part of it's the divisional thing, but it's like, when these two teams play, they split the series all the time. Last year in 2024, it was 7-6. This year it's 3-2 Chicago. It's neither. It's just, I just feel like this is like a way, way overpriced personally, but we'll see.
They scheduled the loss today so they could get the win tomorrow. And that's why Palencia didn't pitch. I think it's a scheduled win for the Chicago Cubs.
We have no line for this one. No line for, because we don't know who's pitching for the Cardinals. We can skip right over to Giants Athletics. The guy before said you should place every bet like it's your last $100. That might be the worst gambling advice I've ever heard given. Do not do that.
Last $100, don't bet.
It's the literally exact opposite of how you should wager.
Tell you what, take 5 and play Mega Millions, then spend everything else on yourself.
Giants Athletics in Sacramento. The Bird. Toast's Bird song going to pitch well.
I think he can. They asked me about this. I popped into the voice chat at the end of it. It would be first 5 under 5.5 for me if I had to play this game. One thing with Birdsong is that he really struggles with lefty bats. Butler, Kurtz, Soderstrom, the only lefty bats in that lineup. So I don't. And then as far as Lopez is concerned, he's actually been like really good for them. I know that he's coming off like a bad start, but he's been really good. I don't know if I trust him. Good starts against, the Detroit start looks really good, but Houston, Kansas City, Baltimore, it's all right. He's looked good. I will give him credit. He's went 6 innings, solid starts. No, but so we'll see. But again, it's that weird park. It's a AAA park. I don't know. But splits wise, and my eyes tell me that both these guys should be able to pitch well. I think 5.5 is just a little bit too many in the first 5, but I'm not going to place the bet.
Giants actually used a couple arms despite having a huge lead. They used Rogers and Rodriguez. I'm looking at it for the first time, just thinking, oh, no. Never mind. The Giants bullpen will be fine. Did you look at this one, Spoon?
Yeah, I have Oakland Athletics -105 bet already. I think Jacob Lopez is going to pitch well against this Giants lineup. It's a guy that really excels at getting lefties out. That's Devers, that's Younghoe Lee, that's Dominic Smith, Mike Yastrzemski, Patrick Bailey, and Brett Wisely in this lineup tomorrow. So I don't think that Helio Ramos, Willie Adames, and Tyler Fitzgerald are going to necessarily get to him. I think this is a spot where he might walk one of those big bats at the top of the lineup and then just try to play to his strengths and get the lefties out. this is a park where he's much more comfortable pitching. He blanked Baltimore here. He only gave up 1 to Houston and 6 earned. Obviously, got hit up by Minnesota. But one thing I'd like to circle with Minnesota is they have 8 righties in their lineup, and they're all pretty good. So when you have a pitcher that struggles with righties, I think that's a spot, especially in a hitter's park, where I can cross that off my list and say that doesn't apply here to these Giants bats. On the other side, we have Hayden Birdsong. Obviously, the lefties are the ones you need to be worried about. I heard him say Butler, Kurtz, and Soderstrom and said, those are 3 really good bats for the Oakland A's. I think this is a spot where Lawrence Butler can get on. Jacob Wilson hits everybody. Brent Rooker, I mean, he either hits a jack or he doesn't, so maybe that's a couple outs for Hayden Birdsong, but I think he has trouble getting through this lineup. I think the Athletics will be able to score here. Their bullpen is in a really good situation. I don't think we give it a lot of credit, but Mason Miller's one of the best arms in the back bullpens anywhere in the league. I think the Athletics have a really good path to a win tomorrow. That's why I've already bet it, -105.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I'm actually a little confused by it. I feel like we should be getting a little bit bigger of a number here. I know the A's are terrible, but Birdsong hasn't looked good, and the way Jacob Lopez has been pitching, you got to think we have the starting pitching advantage here.
I glossed over his last start being pretty bad just because it didn't fit my narrative, but he didn't go 4 innings. He gave up 6 base runners, 3 earned. That probably would have gone worse if they continued to leave him in there at Tampa, and that is one of those same style like AAA parks that's super offensive. So I think that's why the market doesn't necessarily love it.
So, yes, it is the same style of AAA park, but a different style of opposing lineup, much different between the Rays, especially the Rays a week ago, right before this slump happened, and the Giants. I might jump on the A's with you, Spoon. You said you got a -105. I think I can get him.
I'm just going to say, in Hayden's defense, the lineups that he struggled with: Arizona, a whole bunch of lefties; Miami, a team that had just seen him; Boston, a whole bunch of lefties; on the road in Colorado. I mean, can we just give the kid just a little bit of a break, please? I'm done.
Dude,
I don't
know
Padres
like,
game
what Hayden Birdsong did to earn this type of loyalty, but it's crazy.
I mean, look at the starts before that; he was just fine. So,
were you stranded somewhere and Birdsong gave you a ride home?
We talk about sample size and not getting started up, and at the end of the season, but I mean, you guys are talking about Hayden Birdsong like he's only pitched 4 games this whole year. That's my point.
I'm talking like Hayden Birdsong. I'm talking about Hayden Birdsong as if he's a fade because he is.
I like Hayden Birdsong because I picked him out in Double-A and I said this kid could be a star, and he turns out
and you're wrong.
2 years later he's starting for the San Francisco Giants. What are you talking about? Go watch UTEP.
I'm done with UTEP, bro. I'm on Western All right, I just bet the A's. I'm jumping on that with Spoon. Spoon, where can the people? Go ahead.
Real quick, I know Toast is a Padres guy. There's 2 arms that could possibly pitch tomorrow for him. Henry Baez out of Double-A. He's a guy that just got selected for Pitcher of the Month. And Kyle Hart.
And Omar Cruz,
either
bro.
of those bats that come up.
Omar Cruz could start tomorrow. Omar Cruz.
All right, we'll leave it alone. I think it's a Texas spot.
You had something to say for that one? I'm sorry.
I just really think that Jack Leiter is going to pitch pretty well versus this Padres lineup. I was kind of hoping to back him today. Didn't mind that we got Corbin instead, but I think it's going to be a Texas spot. Obviously, we can't do anything without a line, but I just thought it.
What is your fair price, and what are you looking for the open?
So the market has not been respecting Texas. I think if we get Jack Leiter on the mound versus Kyle Hart, that would be the matchup I would want the most. I think we could probably get a Texas -130 line, and I'd be happy betting that. But I don't know how much respect they'll give Leiter. And
-130. I was thinking like a Texas -105. What do you think this opens at, Toast?
Probably close to a pick.
Yeah,
maybe
Padres short fade.
I was going to say, even with the Padres starting Hart, they're going to have a major bullpen advantage. I was going to say the Padres might even be a small favorite.
Yeah, I have Padres. by the way, I think the play is Rangers, so I'm not disagreeing with Spoon.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with Spoon that should be maybe closer to the fair price. But as far as what do I think it opens, I think minus 105 Rangers, minus 115 Padres is my guess.
I'm pretty sure they're going to use Kyle Hart because he's the guy that they've already used and stuff. But all the guys that like the Padre people like me want guys like Omar Cruz and stuff to come up. So we'll see what happens. But the issue is that Darvish was supposed to start. They wanted Darvish to start tomorrow. He's just not there. So they're going to give him another week. Schultz said today he'll be coming to a stadium near you soon. So whatever that means.
I think he threw a really good bullpen today. I was trying to look into that. So it sounded like good reports coming out of that.
But that's when it's you in San Diego in those papers, they love him. They don't say anything bad about him. So kind of take it with a little bit.
Not to love you, Darvish.
I agree.
Spoon, where can they find your stuff?
You can find all my bets on X at Spoon's Bets, and you can find me a few times of the week right here with you guys, and then over at Pub Sports Radio tomorrow morning. We have a show starting at 11 o'clock in the morning. Walk-off wagers with my guy Wine Time Sports. We'll break down the entire MLB card again. Probably have a few additions to my card by then, and then a couple more times with my guy Jimmy the Bag.
Cool. Everyone enjoy your night. Hit me up if you need me. I'll be up finishing Conference USA. Me and Scoop are recording tomorrow, so I got some more notes to do. Betting League, give me about a half hour. I'll have everything updated. Yeah, see you all tomorrow night with TV Jones.